Hello. Welcome to a new Damn podcast. As always, this is your host, DMT. It's almost the end of the year. Like, do you realize that? It's almost the end of the year. How was your year? Because for me, let me tell you, it was just starting and now it's ending. I'm like, what the hell happened to this year? Like this year went like that. Like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. I went through so much this year. So much. Like this year was tough. This was a tough year. I learned so much though. I learned so much. Um, you know. No, we learned so much this year. This year was a learning experience, It was tough. It was tough. I'm not gonna lie. I had to accept so much. I had to um, learn to not accept other things. And I had to learn a balance, in between one and the other. Um, this year was definitely a tough one. Um, you know, um, mm, I don't know. I can't say anything other than that. Like this year was tough. um, but I don't regret it. It did teach me a lot. I feel um, a lot more center, a lot more like with my feet on the ground. I feel, I learned so much, mainly towards the end, like I learned that, um, like overthinking can be good, but it also can be, your biggest like enemy. I learned that you learn with experience, like wisdom doesn't come through just like through age, it comes with experience, Going through all of it and um, feeling all of it, wanting to run away from some of it as well. Um, Understanding and learning that I won't get anywhere if I just run away from it and I don't feel it, and I don't sit here and intake, what's going on. Running away from it, at the end of the day, I am not running away from nothing. I'm just delaying the process and making it worse, and procrastinating at the end of the day. So yeah, like learning, that it's okay to learn, This year, man, um, I don't even want to get into it. But anywho, aside from that, I'm very excited about the things that I learned. Um, oh, um, if my intuition is telling me something doesn't feel right, something doesn't feel right, and not to go after it and find out why it doesn't feel right. That forms some form of like, this is how you then start accepting other people to treat you. At the end of the day, this is how the people that you end up attracting and how you end up accepting, behaviors because you accept it from yourself. You don't respect your own boundaries. You don't respect your own decisions. So how is anybody else going to respect your decision? It makes no sense, and so I had to learn that the hard way. I went through this way too many times, and it got to the point where I sat here and I was like, you know what, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I have to, at some point, realize and break down what is it that I want, what is it that I will tolerate, and what is it that I will not. What is it that once this line is crossed, that's it. Life is what we make it. Life is what we accept. Life is what we intake, and what you pay attention to, what you give energy and time to. Um, at the end of the day, it gives some form of fruit, and whether that fruit is good or bad, it's a, you know, consequences of actions. It is the outcome of a decision, and so on and so forth. We cannot expect people to read our minds and know how we want to be treated, and what is, crossing the line, and what would be disrespectful. If you yourself don't know those things, if you yourself don't draw the line, that is absurd. That if you don't do it for yourself, what do you expect from life? What do you expect to see? What do you expect to portray, to show, to, our experiences and our past mistakes do not determine and do not make us or dictate, who we are and what we are in the present. These past mistakes and lessons were mistakes and lessons. They do not excuse me to just be stuck in one idea. They should be a fuel of like, okay, I went through that. I don't want to be stuck on that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to, for the rest of my life, build myself like this, And then now we start changing that view of, okay, I would change my behaviors. I would change my patterns. I would change my thinking. I would change my excuses, period, Because that, again, it should be the fuel. It should be the fuel that ignites that flame, that spark, that, that want and desire to like be better. Not an excuse to just continue on doing the same thing. It doesn't have to take to the end of the year to have a new resolution or a new way of wanting to do certain things. It could be a random day, on a random Wednesday, on a random June, or whatever. You decide the moment that you want this change in your life. If there's one thing I learned this year, was that my energy is sacred. I will not step down to your level. No. People will reflect their own insecurities, how they see themselves, this and that, onto you, and that has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. Okay? And it's like funny how when you start to just set boundaries and not allowing certain things anymore, now you're toxic or not. Okay, great, and so be it. I will be the toxiest. The toxiest. All right, if that means that I would not let your little manipulation or your little like whatever game to draw me into your little game, because at the end of the day, this is what they want to do. They just want to, bring you in that little game of like, oh, the back and forth. Though this is not. It's like no, honey, no. I'm no longer doing that. Okay, you can continue on fighting with yourself, and keep your negativity to yourself and over there. Far away. Just learning, bro. Just learning how to just be like. Not always do we have to go and say something about it. No, let it be. Let it be. You are reflecting your own shit onto me. It's just a waste of energy. Like, change that mentality. Change that negativity, Listen, life is too short to be negative all the time. And bringing, like misery loves company, but at some point that needs to change, I'm sorry. Not a single motherfucker can come on here and tear me down, in my opinion and my view of myself. That's impossible unless I allow it. Unless I myself then start sitting here and start like thinking of these things, which is what sometimes we do. And again, a negative person in your life will always be a negative energy in your life. if you continue allowing it. So the moment that you cut off that negative energy, and the quicker you pick up on the fact that, oh, this was never for me, you know, don't let low vibrating frequency people leech onto your energy, latch onto your frequency, and then what are you left with? What are you left with after you are so freely giving these people your energy and your frequency? Who you will allow into your life is a big factor on who you will feel like at the end. Hello. We are almost at the end of this year. And my God, am I shocked of the fact that where did this year even, like, when did it come to its end, so much happened this year for me. Like, this year was a tough year. Like, this year was either you learn or you learn type of deal, Like, the universe was just like, listen, little girl, you will learn because you will learn. And enough is enough of, I will have to go through this as many times as I have to go through this to be able to learn, Like, there's gotta be to a point where you gotta, like, draw the line and be like, enough is enough, For me, overstep a boundary, and that would not be accepted. There would not be a second chance for you to be able to do that, right? Because basically that's at the end of the day what I was doing. At the end of the day, I was giving people another chance and another opportunity to continue on doing the same thing over and over, right? And at some point, like, you can't really be mad at the people because you allowed this. You you taught them that this was okay, and that you are okay with being treated this way, with having your boundaries overstepped, people crossing the line. And one person told me, because I was getting really mad at myself, and I was like, how could I just, like, be so stupid and do this and that and accept this and da-da-da and, like, all of this, And this person told me, listen, it's not fair to your younger self and your and that version of yourself that did not have that knowledge, that went through the situation, to be judged by the person that went through the situation and now has the knowledge, And I was like, damn, boy, did I need that, Like, I needed that. I really did. I was becoming, like, very mad at myself. I wasn't so gullible, or I wasn't so naive to not know what was going on, So I allowed it, But I was also gullible and naive in the fact that, or in the sense that, I would excuse it always because I love you, because you're my friend, because I understand you, because I also need closure. And I just, I realized with time, the closure really is the disrespect, Like, that's it, and people are never gonna feel how you feel, or they're never gonna, like, put themselves in your shoes and be like, wow, like, damn, like, I can see how what I did, was, X, Y, and Z, and let me explain to you, like, you're never gonna get that closure. You're never gonna get really, like, the answer that you want, it's unfortunate, but it is how it is what it is. Call it pride, call it naiveness, call it ignorance, call it whatever you want to call it, It is what it is. So I was like, I had been very, like, my energy had been drained. Like, bro, I keep on allowing this. I keep on accepting this. So with that being said right there, this is today's topic on Newton Podcast. And as always, I am your host, DMT. Um, I did mention this on my last episode. Stop allowing low vibrating people into your life. One, these people, with your energy and the access of your energy, start to emit, your energy. And so you might start seeing something there that might not be there, that might just be completely based off your energy, based off what you have to offer, how you make this person feel, right? Allowing people into your energy, into your life, all of this has such an impact within yourself, with how you feel, because however these people feel at the end of the day, it's also transmitted onto you. And so if they feel insecure, if they feel like, just full of negativity, at some point, you're going to start feeling negative about yourself. Is this worth your time? Is this worth your energy? Is this worth your peace? Because, again, anything that costs your peace is way too damn expensive. That is too damn expensive, okay? I don't care what anybody says. That is your peace. That is your mantra, your energy, your everything. And so if you're not at peace with your own life and your own space, you're not gonna flow in anything else. Everything else will become a drag. Everything else will become things that you are passionate about are no longer, of your interest. And you start having like this lack of motivation, and you start having this lack of any of like what you are, basically, because now you're being filled of this other energy that's interrupting. So yeah, like understanding what you will be tolerating, what you will be accepting, breaking down these things. Don't allow energies and people. If something doesn't feel right, don't try and go and find out why it doesn't feel right, because you will quickly find out why it doesn't feel right. And then you're gonna sit there like, wow, if it isn't the consequences of my own doing, and then you're like, well, I was right, my intuition was right, this was not right, but I went to go and find out, right? I couldn't just leave it at that. I couldn't just go with my intuition and be like, you know what, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right, period. Like so again, I kept asking myself, when do you draw the line? When do you say, okay, that is it, I will not tolerate it anymore? And honestly, this is one of my New Year's resolution, cutting off people in my life that at some point I allowed, to do these things. Because again, it would be a humongous disrespect to myself if I just keep allowing these people in my life, right? Giving or excusing other people more than I excuse and give grace or empathy to myself. I can understand another person for doing certain things or whatever. But when I do certain things, I am not okay with it, So I'm like, no. I'm going to start being okay with making mistakes. I'm going to start being okay with learning. I'm going to start being okay with just going with what I need to go through so that way I can just grow and learn. Like, wisdom doesn't come through just like through age, it comes with experience, you know? And cutting off is more than enough. Sometimes this is better for your inner peace and for yourself to just keep it moving, you know? Move on and keep it moving. And not stress about it and not think about it and not, try to like why this and why that and how to, no, that's it. The closure was the disrespect, you know? So, you keep it moving and you don't keep allowing these people back into your life to explain themselves, to then apologize or no. I am so sorry. The moment that you try to come at me and apologize after you disrespected me, that is a big problem. That is a big issue, you know? Oh, I'm sorry, I did not mean X, Y, and Z. No, I am sorry, you didn't mean it. You said what you meant. Now you're regretting it. That's a whole different story. However you're feeling about it has nothing to do with me. You know, see things for what they are. You have to start seeing things for what they are, right? And stop adding more to a situation or a person than what there really is, you know? And sometimes when we give our energy and when we sit here and give our time to this person and devote, ourselves to a certain someone, and then you start seeing them and they are motivated, they are passionate, they are positive, they are dreaming, they are, like active, they're like on fire. Okay, while they are with you, while they have access to your energy, the moment that you cut it off and this person out of the sudden shifts from this to now being negative, you know, just what they are, who they are. Let's not call it their true colors because, again, I don't really believe in true colors. People have emotions. You can't be judging someone based on an emotion or at least in my opinion. But they just start showing you, characteristics, traits, habits, and certain things that they have of themselves. Don't overlook it. Don't dismiss it. You didn't feel right. It felt forced. Honey, it is forced. It is not right. Don't try to go against your intuition and try to go find out why something doesn't feel right or why something feels forced. Because trust me, that's going to be it's going to be more of a pain in the ass than just letting it be from the beginning and be like, you know what? I will listen to myself and I will listen to my intuition and I will listen to what my, a higher power, God, the universe or whatever you want to call it is telling me, my energy is sacred, and I mean that in the most humblest way, but at the same time, that's also on some putting myself on some pedestal, because at the end of the day, again, people will reflect their own insecurities, how they see themselves, this and that, onto you, and that has nothing to do with you. You can continue on pouring whatever the fuck onto yourself. You're cool, calm, and collected, unbothered. That has nothing to do with me. You are reflecting your own shit onto me. I don't want part of it. I don't want part of it. Okay? You know of a person. You don't know the person, Drawing conclusions, saying, what you basically tell yourself in your inner thoughts, in your inner self, to other people is just a waste of energy. Like, change that mentality, change that negativity, listen, life is too short to be negative all the time. And that hurt people shit is just some excuse, because we just keep on trying to like tear each other down. A negative person in your life will always be a negative energy in your life. With that being said, we have reached our end of the episode. Um, and take all that, fill yourself with good energy, you know. Be mindful of what you are paying attention to and what you're giving energy to.